Donald Trump boarded the first-class cabin of a transcontinental flight bound for New York with his signature calm demeanor. Clad in his well-known navy suit paired with a striking red tie and impeccably polished shoes, he carried nothing more than a sleek leather briefcase and his ever-present smartphone. Despite his larger-than-life persona and global recognition, he seemed relaxed and almost unassuming, as if he were merely another traveler embarking on a long journey. Across the aisle sat Adam Thompson, a self-assured investment banker in his early 50s, whose tailored suit and gleaming platinum Rolex spoke volumes about his success and his commitment to exclusivity. Adam prided himself on his refined taste and considered himself a gatekeeper of first-class sophistication. As the passengers began to settle into their seats, his discerning eyes casually scanned the cabin until they locked onto Trump. A skeptical smirk crept across his face. "What is this guy doing here?" Adam mused silently, convinced that such a figure did not belong in his meticulously curated environment. Unable to suppress his curiosity and perhaps a hint of condescension, Adam leaned over. "Hey there, buddy," he drawled, his tone oozing arrogance. "First-class seats don't come cheap. What line of work are you in these days?" Trump glanced up from his smartphone, his eyes reflecting a blend of mild amusement and quiet confidence. "I'm in real estate and media," he replied succinctly, his measured tone betraying no irritation. It was a simple statement, yet it carried the weight of decades of experience and the subtle assurance of someone who knew how to reinvent himself. Adam's eyebrow arched in disbelief. "Real estate, huh? I suppose those days are behind you. And media? Let me guess. You're running some small-time news website that hasn't quite caught on." He chuckled condescendingly, shaking his head as though dismissing Trump's achievements as relics of a bygone era. "This cabin is for serious business leaders. You know, the ones who innovate and create industries, not those who live off old glory." Trump adjusted his red tie with a slight, almost imperceptible smile, his calm exterior unwavering. "I've built many things over the years," he replied evenly. "Success isn't about clinging to the past. It's about evolving with the times." Adam scoffed, clearly unconvinced. "Evolving is one thing, but staying relevant is another. Look around. This cabin is filled with people who truly matter. People who make things happen, not just dream up fantasies." He tapped his wrist, drawing attention to the expensive watch that seemed to encapsulate his own sense of achievement. Innovation must be backed by tangible results. Otherwise, it's just hot air. As the conversation escalated, other passengers began to take notice. Some exchanged amused glances, while others whispered to one another, their eyes darting between the two men. The tension in the confined space was palpable, yet Trump remained unruffled, his focus alternating between his phone and the steady stream of in-flight entertainment. Every gesture and quiet smile served as a reminder that experience and calm resolve could silence even the loudest critics. A few minutes later, the flight attendant glided down the aisle with practiced grace. "Mr. Trump, would you like your preferred meal served now or after takeoff?" she asked in a respectful, professional tone. It was then that Adam's confident facade began to crumble. "Wait, Trump?" he stuttered, his face flushing as the realization sank in. The attendant nodded, her smile warm yet firm. "Yes, sir. This is Mr. Donald Trump," she confirmed, leaving no room for doubt. A hush fell over the cabin. Some passengers discreetly reached for their smartphones, eager to capture the unexpected revelation, while others simply exchanged knowing looks. Adam, now visibly shaken, attempted to recover his composure, his earlier smirk replaced by a look of sheer disbelief. I didn't realize," he managed, his voice faltering as he forced a nervous laugh. I had no idea." Trump, still unperturbed, offered a measured smile. "That's all right," he replied calmly. "People often make assumptions based on appearances. It's an easy mistake to make." His tone was gentle, yet carried an unmistakable undercurrent of authority, a reminder that appearances could be deceiving. As the plane cruised at altitude, the atmosphere in the cabin shifted subtly. Other passengers exchanged smiles and murmurs of admiration as Trump's quiet dignity in the face of condescension became increasingly evident. Meanwhile, Adam attempted once more to reassert his authority. Leaning forward, he murmured, "You know, if you really want to sit among the movers and shakers, you need to adopt the right demeanor. A bit of humility wouldn't go amiss." Trump chuckled softly, a deep, self-assured laugh with a trace of irony. "Humility, you say?" he replied, his tone light yet pointed. "I suppose everyone has their own way of defining success." There was no malice in his voice, only a subtle reminder that true leadership was as much about listening as it was about speaking. The conversation then took on a more reflective tone. As the flight attendant returned to her duties, the cabin resumed its usual hum of quiet conversations and the soft rustle of pages from in-flight magazines. Trump resumed scrolling through his phone, occasionally glancing at the cabin with an amused detachment that belied the earlier tension. Adam, on the other hand, sat back in his seat, his confidence thoroughly eroded. His earlier bravado had been replaced by a contemplative silence, and he found himself lost in thought, questioning the assumptions he had made. Before long, a young woman with wide, eager eyes approached Trump hesitantly. "Mr. Trump," she said softly, clutching her phone as if it were a lifeline. "I'm a huge fan of your work. May I have a quick photo with you?" The request seemed to reverberate through the cabin, a symbol of the unexpected impact Trump had on those around him. Trump looked up, his smile warm and inviting. "Of course," he replied. "Let's keep it quick, though, so as not to disturb the other passengers." The young woman beamed, snapping a selfie that captured a fleeting moment of celebrity amid the luxury of first class. As more passengers seized the opportunity for a brief encounter, Adam sank deeper into his seat, overwhelmed by a mix of embarrassment and introspection. A middle-aged passenger seated nearby leaned over and whispered, "I can't believe you were giving advice to Donald Trump." The comment, laced with a mixture of awe and amusement, stung Adam deeply. He had prided himself on his own accomplishments, yet here he was, lectured by someone he had so easily dismissed. For the remainder of the flight, Adam remained unusually silent. His earlier arrogance was replaced by a reflective humility as he observed Trump interacting effortlessly with other passengers. The calm, measured way in which Trump navigated the subtle power dynamics of the cabin spoke volumes about his experience and self-assured nature. With every kind word and thoughtful gesture, he subtly reshaped the atmosphere, transforming what had been a tense exchange into an unspoken lesson on leadership and grace. As the flight neared its destination, a series of small moments added layers to the encounter. A retired professor seated a few rows away shared a knowing smile with a fellow passenger, remarking on the beauty of humility in leadership. A seasoned traveler, who had witnessed many high-profile figures come and go, commented under his breath on how true power often lay in quiet confidence rather than overt bravado. Just before landing, the flight attendant returned to hand Trump a small card thanking him for flying with them. Once again, she addressed him as Mr. Trump, her tone courteous and precise. With every mention of his name, the cabin's atmosphere shifted. Adam's discomfort grew, while others exchanged respectful glances. It was as if the acknowledgement of Trump's identity served as a final reminder that sometimes it is the unassuming gestures and quiet strength that define true success. During the descent, Trump began gathering his belongings. As he turned to Adam with a courteous nod, he said, "Safe travels," in a voice imbued with genuine politeness, a final gesture of goodwill despite the earlier tension. Adam could only nod in response, his mind racing with the weight of the lessons he had just learned. The once haughty investment banker was now left reflecting on his behavior and the unfounded assumptions he had made about a man who had, in every sense, proven that substance and character mattered far more than superficial status symbols. Once the plane had landed and passengers began to disembark, Adam lingered in his seat, replaying every moment of the encounter. The flight had evolved into much more than just a means of transportation. It had become a journey of self-discovery and a lesson in humility. Adam realized that true success wasn't measured by wealth or ostentatious displays of affluence, but by one's ability to remain composed, respectful, and genuine even under scrutiny. In the days that followed, Adam found himself rethinking his approach to both business and personal interactions. The memory of that flight resonated with him during board meetings, in casual conversations with colleagues, and even in moments of solitude. He began to understand that the power of authenticity could bridge gaps that arrogance had once widened. Slowly, his perspective shifted, and he started embracing a more balanced view of success, one that valued both achievement and the quiet dignity of personal integrity. And as for Donald Trump, he continued on his path, undeterred by the brief skirmish in the skies. His calm, unwavering demeanor had left an indelible mark on everyone he encountered that day, a subtle reminder that real power lies not in arrogance or ostentation, but in the quiet strength of character and the ability to evolve with the times. In a world that often celebrated flash and superficiality, his actions that day spoke of a legacy built on experience, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to moving forward.